You're listening to the YPO Tech Network AI Brief, and I'm Stephen Forte. Today's episode is the trillion-dollar leather jacket. Today, we'll talk about NVIDIA's GYTC 2026 keynote, why the company that sells the chips now wants to own the software, and what it means when the most important company in tech tells you the rules of the game just changed again. Let's start with the number that made every analyst in the room sit up straight. $1 trillion. That is what Jensen Huang, wearing his trademark leather jacket, which at this point is less a wardrobe choice and more a brand asset, told the crowd Nvidia expects to generate in AI infrastructure revenue between 2025 and 2027. To put that in perspective, just last month, Nvidia told Wall Street the opportunity was $500 billion. In 4 weeks, they doubled the forecast. Analysts are already calling the $1 trillion figure a floor, not a ceiling. But the money isn't the story. The story is what they are building with it. GTC 2026 was not just a hardware event. It was a declaration of empire. Nvidia is no longer just selling the picks and shovels for the AI gold rush. They are building the entire mining town, the railroad to get there, and the bank that holds the gold. Today, we're going to break down the 3 most important announcements from the 2-hour keynote and what they mean for how you run your company this week. Story 1, the Vera Rubin platform and the end of the data center. NVIDIA announced its next-generation architecture named after Vera Rubin, the astronomer who discovered dark matter. There is something poetic about the company powering the intelligence revolution, naming its chips after scientists who discovered things the world initially couldn't see. Vera Rubin is not just a chip. It is what NVIDIA calls an AI factory in a box. It is the first vertically integrated system built from the ground up specifically for agentic workloads, meaning AI that thinks, plans, and acts autonomously. The specs are staggering. Each Rubin GPU has 288 gigabytes of memory and 22 terabytes per second of bandwidth. A full Vera Rubin pod contains 40 racks, over 1,000 GPUs, and 1.2 quadrillion transistors. But here is the detail that matters for you. NVIDIA also announced the DGX Station, a desk-side supercomputer that can run a 1 trillion parameter model locally on your desk, not in a server farm in Virginia. Under your desk next to your trash can. That sentence would have been science fiction 3 years ago. The strategic shift here is profound. Jensen Huang is explicitly telling the market that the era of the traditional data center is over. Data centers store and process information. AI factories produce intelligence. And NVIDIA is the only company that can sell you the entire factory. Story 2, OpenClaw, NemoClaw, and the agentic land grab. If you only pay attention to one thing from GTC, make it this. NVIDIA is making a massive play to own the software layer of the enterprise. They announced full support for OpenClaw, which is rapidly becoming the open source operating system for AI agents. Think of it as Android for digital workers. On top of that, they launched NemoClaw, a production-grade enterprise stack that lets companies build secure, always-on AI agents that connect directly to Salesforce, SAP, ServiceNow, and Microsoft 365. They even ran Build-A-Claw workshops at the event, showing developers how to deploy a fully functional digital employee in under an hour. This is the meta playbook applied to enterprise software. NVIDIA is giving away the agent operating system for free. They are making it open source. They are partnering with every major software vendor you already use. Why? Because if every agent in your company runs on OpenClaw, you are going to need a lot more NVIDIA hardware to power them. Huang introduced a new phrase for this: agentic scaling. The next massive leap in AI capability won't just come from building bigger models. It will come from millions of specialized AI agents talking to each other, negotiating, and solving problems in real time. The intelligence is moving from the node to the network, and NVIDIA intends to own the network. Story 3, physical AI and the robotics simulation play. The final piece of the puzzle is what happens when AI leaves the screen and enters the physical world. NVIDIA announced Groq 2, their next-generation foundation model for humanoid robots, alongside major partnerships with Agility Robotics and Figure. But the breakthrough isn't the robot. It's how the robot learns. Historically, robotics has had a data problem. You have to physically drive a car or walk a robot around to teach it how the world works. That is slow and expensive. Nvidia's solution: swap the data problem for a compute problem. They use their Omniverse platform to create hyper-realistic digital twins of the real world. They train the AI inside the simulation where it can fail 1,000,000 times a second at zero cost, and then download that brain into a physical robot. They even announced the Vera Rubin Space Module, an AI computer designed to run in orbit, powered by solar energy, delivering 25 times the compute of an H100. They are literally putting AI in space. At this point, the only place Nvidia is not trying to put a chip is inside your body. And I would not rule that out for GTC 2027. So let's tie this all together for your Monday morning. GTC 2026 made one thing abundantly clear. The infrastructure for the next decade of business is being locked in right now. Nvidia is not competing with your software vendors. They are becoming the plumbing underneath them. When your team builds an AI agent to handle customer service or automate supply chain logistics or write code, there is a very high probability it will run on Nvidia's OpenClaw architecture. When you buy enterprise software from Adobe or SAP next year, the AI features inside it will likely be powered by Nvidia's NemoClaw stack. The old question was, what is our AI strategy? The new question is, do we understand the infrastructure our entire company is about to become dependent on? My suggestion this week: ask your CTO or head of engineering 2 questions. First, are we experimenting with OpenClaw or any other agentic frameworks? And second, as we deploy more autonomous agents, how does our compute cost scale? Because Jensen Huang just bet $1 trillion that your compute costs are going to go up. And he is rarely wrong about the math. That's the YPO Tech Network AI brief for Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. I'm Stephen Forte. If this hit home, send it to a fellow member who needs to hear it. I'll be back tomorrow with more. Until then, stay sharp.